Millions of years ago, the Earth was home to creatures of incredible size and power. Long after the dinosaurs disappeared, a new kind of giant walked the land. This was the age of mammals, and among them was a beast of terrifying reputation. It was an animal so formidable that it earned the nickname Hell Pig. Its true name is Daeodon. This creature was not a true pig but something far more intimidating. It roamed the plains of North America, a top predator of its time. Imagine, if you will, a creature with the bulk of a bison and the powerful jaws of a bone-crushing hyena. This was Daeodon, a true titan of the Miocene epoch. The name Daeodon means dreadful tooth, which is actually a pretty fitting description for an animal with such a fearsome appearance. Its massive skull was its most striking feature, armed with enormous teeth capable of breaking bones with ease. These were not gentle grazers or simple foragers. Fossil evidence suggests they were aggressive and powerful animals, ruling their environment through sheer force. When we picture the prehistoric world, we often think of dinosaurs. But honestly, the story of life on our planet is filled with other incredible chapters. The story of Daeodon is one of these, revealing a time when mammals grew to enormous sizes and filled the role of apex predators. Exploring the world of Daeodon is like stepping back into a lost wilderness. It was a world very different from our own, yet filled with animals that are distant relatives of those we know today. The hell pig was a key player in this ancient ecosystem. Understanding this creature helps us understand how life recovered and changed after the age of dinosaurs. It shows us the incredible diversity of mammalian evolution. The story of Daeodon is a reminder of the constant struggle for survival that has shaped life on Earth for millions of years. It is a tale of power, adaptation, and eventual extinction. The journey to understand this magnificent beast begins with its discovery. Paleontologists, scientists who study ancient life, have pieced together its story from fossilized bones. Each bone tells a part of the story. It tells us how large Daeodon was, what it ate, and even how it fought. These clues from the past allow us to reconstruct not just the animal itself, but the entire world it inhabited. We can imagine it thundering across ancient grasslands, a truly awesome and frightening sight. So join us as we uncover the secrets of this prehistoric giant, the incredible hell pig of North America. To truly understand Daeodon, we must look at its family tree. It belongs to a group of extinct mammals called entelodonts. These animals are often called hell pigs, but they are not related to modern pigs at all. Instead, their closest living relatives are surprisingly different. Scientists now believe that entelodonts are more closely related to hippos and whales. This connection reveals a fascinating evolutionary journey. It shows how one ancient group of animals could give rise to creatures as different as a land-based hunter and a giant of the ocean. The entelodont family was a successful group that lived for millions of years across North America, Europe, and Asia. The entelodonts first appeared around 37 million years ago. They were a diverse group with many different species of various sizes. Some were as small as a sheep, while others, like Daeodon, were enormous. What united them was their unique body plan. They all had long skulls with powerful jaws. They also had these distinctive bony bumps, or flanges, on their cheeks and jaws. These might have been used for protection during fights or as display structures to intimidate rivals. Daeodon represents the peak of this evolutionary line. It was the last and the largest of all the entelodonts, a true giant of its kind. The evolution of the entelodonts shows a clear trend towards larger size and greater power. Early entelodonts were formidable, but Daeodon took these traits to the extreme. It appeared late in the family's history during the Miocene epoch, around 23 million years ago. Its immense size and bone-crushing jaws made it one of the most powerful predators of its time. This evolutionary path suggests a world of intense competition. To survive, these animals had to become bigger and stronger than their rivals. Daeodon was the ultimate product of this prehistoric arms race, a perfectly adapted mega-predator. Sadly, the reign of the entelodonts eventually came to an end. Daeodon and its relatives disappeared from the fossil record around 16 million years ago. Their extinction was likely caused by a combination of factors. The climate was changing, and new, more efficient predators were evolving. These new hunters, like the bear dogs, may have outcompeted the entelodonts for food. The story of the entelodonts is a powerful example of evolution in action. It shows how groups of animals can rise, dominate their environment, and then fade away as the world changes around them. The skeleton of Daeodon tells a story of immense power and a life of conflict. This was a truly massive animal. It stood about 1.8 meters tall at the shoulder, making it as tall as a large horse. Its body was robust and muscular, built more like a bison or a rhinoceros than a pig. It could have weighed up to 1,000 kilograms. But the most impressive part of Daeodon was its skull. The skull alone could be nearly a meter long. It was filled with a formidable set of teeth, including large tusk-like canines and massive molars capable of grinding through bone. One of the most curious features of the Daeodon skull is the presence of large bony knobs on its cheeks and under its jaw. These are known as zygomatic and mandibular flanges. Scientists have several ideas about their purpose. They could have served as attachment points for incredibly powerful jaw muscles, giving Daeodon a devastatingly strong bite. They may also have been a form of armor, protecting the animal's face during fights with other Daeodon. It is very likely that these animals were highly aggressive towards each other, competing for territory, food, and mates. The flanges could have been used in head-pushing contests, much like modern giraffes use their necks. Based on its anatomy, we can infer a great deal about Daeodon's behavior. It was likely an omnivore, eating a wide variety of foods. Its powerful jaws and strong teeth suggest it was a bone crusher. This means it could have been both a predator and a scavenger. As a predator, it might have hunted other large mammals of its time, using its great size and strength to bring them down. As a scavenger, it could have easily driven other predators away from their kills. Its size alone would have been enough to intimidate any potential rivals. Its diet likely included everything from roots and plants to carrion and fresh meat. Fossil evidence supports the idea of a violent lifestyle. Many entelodont skulls, including those of Daeodon, show signs of injury. They have deep scratches and puncture wounds on their faces, particularly around the eyes. These wounds match the size and shape of the teeth of another entelodont. This is strong evidence that these animals fought viciously with each other. They likely bit each other's faces in brutal contests for dominance. This behavior is seen in some animals today, but the fossil record of Daeodon paints a picture of exceptionally violent lives. They were truly built for battle. Daeodon lived during a period known as the Miocene Epoch, which lasted from about 23 to 5 million years ago. During this time, the world's climate was generally warmer and drier than it is today. In North America, where Daeodon lived, vast forests were giving way to more open landscapes. These new environments were a mix of woodlands and expanding grasslands, kind of like the savannas of modern Africa. This changing world provided new opportunities for large, ground-dwelling animals. Daeodon was perfectly suited to this habitat, able to travel long distances across the open plains in search of food. This Miocene world was filled with a diverse cast of strange and wonderful animals. Daeodon was not alone. It shared its environment with many other creatures, some of which were its prey and others its competitors. There were ancient three-toed horses like Parahippus, which were much smaller than modern horses. There were also chalicotheres, odd-looking mammals related to horses but with large claws instead of hooves. These herbivores would have been potential prey for a powerful predator like Daeodon. The presence of such a large hunter would have had a significant impact on the entire ecosystem. Competition for resources was fierce. Daeodon had to contend with other large predators. Among the most formidable were the amphicyonids, often called bear dogs. These were large, carnivorous mammals that were neither bears nor dogs but a separate family. Some species of bear dog were as large as a modern grizzly bear, and were powerful hunters in their own right. It is likely that Daeodon and the bear dogs competed directly for food and territory. Encounters between these two mega-predators would have been titanic struggles for dominance on the Miocene plains. The interactions between these species created a complex and dynamic food web. Daeodon, as an apex predator and scavenger, played a crucial role in this system. By hunting herbivores, it helped to control their populations. By scavenging carcasses, it helped to clean the environment and recycle nutrients. The world of Daeodon was a brutal but balanced ecosystem. Studying these interactions helps paleontologists understand how ancient environments functioned. It shows us that the roles of predator, prey, and scavenger have been essential to the health of ecosystems for millions of years, long before the world we know today. The story of Daeodon as we know it began in 1858. The famous American paleontologist Joseph Leidy was the first to describe fossils of this animal. However, the history of its naming is quite complicated. Over the years, different fossil discoveries were given different names, such as Dinohyus, which means terrible pig. For a long time, Dinohyus was the more popular name. It was only later that scientists realized these fossils all belonged to the same animal, which had first been named Daeodon. According to scientific rules, the first name given is the one that must be used. So the terrible pig officially became the dreadful tooth. These initial discoveries were made in the rich fossil beds of North America, particularly in places like Nebraska and Wyoming. The fossil sites, such as the Agate Fossil Beds National Monument, have preserved an incredible snapshot of Miocene life. Here, paleontologists have found not just single bones but entire skeletons of Daeodon and the animals it lived with. These discoveries are like puzzle pieces. By carefully excavating and studying them, scientists can reconstruct the anatomy of these animals and learn about their behavior. The process is slow and requires great skill, but it is how we bring these lost worlds back to life. In modern times, Daeodon has captured the public imagination. Its fearsome appearance and intimidating nickname, Hell Pig, have made it a star of popular culture. It has been featured in numerous television documentaries, including Walking with Beasts, where it was portrayed as a dominant and aggressive scavenger. It has also appeared in video games and as a popular museum exhibit. These portrayals, while sometimes dramatized, have introduced millions of people to this incredible prehistoric creature. Daeodon has become a symbol of the raw power and strangeness of life in the age of mammals. The legacy of Daeodon extends beyond entertainment. In the scientific community, it remains an important subject of study. It serves as a prime example of an apex predator in a terrestrial ecosystem. By studying its bone-crushing adaptations, scientists can learn more about the mechanics of feeding in large carnivores. Furthermore, its eventual extinction provides valuable clues about how ecosystems respond to environmental change and competition from new species. Daeodon is more than just a monster from the past. It is a key that helps unlock our understanding of mammalian evolution and the history of life on our planet. To truly grasp the uniqueness of Daeodon, it is helpful to compare it to animals living today. The nickname Hell Pig naturally invites a comparison with modern pigs. While they share a robust build and an omnivorous diet, the similarities end there. Modern wild boars are tough and can be dangerous, but they are much smaller than Daeodon. More importantly, their skulls and teeth are built for rooting in the soil and eating plants, nuts, and small animals. Daeodon, on the other hand, had a skull built for extreme force, capable of crushing large bones. It was a hunter and scavenger on a scale that no modern pig can match. A better comparison might be with a modern grizzly bear. Like Daeodon, a grizzly bear is a large, powerful omnivore that can act as an apex predator. Both animals have a massive build and can be highly aggressive. A grizzly bear can hunt large prey like moose and also scavenge for carrion. However, there are still key differences. The skull of Daeodon was proportionally much larger than a bear's, and its entire anatomy seemed more specialized for confrontational feeding and fighting. The bony flanges on its face, for example, have no equivalent in bears. Daeodon was a unique combination of traits not seen in any single animal today. We can also see echoes of Daeodon's behavior in the spotted hyena of Africa. Hyenas are famous for their bone-crushing jaws, a trait they shared with Daeodon. They are also social animals that live in clans and compete fiercely for food. While we don't know for sure if Daeodon was social, the evidence of face-biting injuries suggests intense social interactions. However, a hyena's body is built for endurance running, allowing it to chase prey over long distances. Daeodon was not a graceful runner. It had a more upright, pillar-like leg structure, suggesting it was an ambush predator or a confrontational scavenger that used its bulk to overpower its victims. Ultimately, Daeodon was a creature of its own time, an evolutionary experiment that is no longer with us. It combined the features of several modern animals into one formidable package. It had the general body shape of a giant pig, the size and power of a bear, and the bone-crushing ability of a hyena. But it was also something entirely different, a testament to the incredible creativity of evolution. By making these comparisons, we can better appreciate just how special Daeodon was. It highlights the fact that the past was home to animals and ecosystems with no perfect modern equivalent. The story of Daeodon is more than just a tale of a fearsome prehistoric beast. It holds deep significance for our understanding of life on Earth. Its existence demonstrates the remarkable ways in which mammals evolved to fill ecological niches left vacant by the dinosaurs. After the Great Extinction event, mammals diversified rapidly, growing in size and complexity. Daeodon and its entelodont relatives represent one of the first great experiments in large-bodied mammalian predation. They show us that the path to becoming an apex predator was not a straight line, but a branching tree of many different and fascinating forms. Studying Daeodon provides crucial insights into the concept of convergent evolution. This is the process where unrelated species independently evolve similar traits to adapt to similar lifestyles. Daeodon's bone-crushing jaws are similar to those of hyenas, even though they are not closely related. This tells us that the ability to process bone is a highly successful strategy for a large carnivore or scavenger. By examining the anatomy of Daeodon, scientists can understand the physical requirements for this lifestyle and see how different animal groups have solved the same biological problem in different ways over millions of years. The extinction of Daeodon is as important as its life. It serves as a powerful case study in how environmental change and competition can drive even the most dominant species to extinction. As the Miocene climate changed and grasslands spread, new types of predators like the bear dogs evolved. These new animals may have been more efficient hunters or better adapted to the changing environment. The decline of the entelodonts shows that no reign is permanent. Ecosystems are constantly in flux, and the species that thrive in one era may be replaced in the next. This is a vital lesson for understanding biodiversity and conservation today. In conclusion, Daeodon is a truly iconic figure in the history of life. It was a monster of the Miocene, a creature of immense power and unique adaptations. From its complicated taxonomy to its violent behavior, it continues to fascinate both scientists and the public. It is a symbol of a lost world, a time when mammals ruled in spectacular and terrifying ways. The legacy of the Hell Pig is preserved in the fossil record, a permanent reminder of the incredible diversity of evolution and the endless cycle of dominance, adaptation, and extinction that has shaped our planet for eons. Its story is a vital chapter in the grand narrative of life on Earth.